Good morning, Facebook family, friends, my faithful, loyal YouTube subscribers. Today it is, Tuesday, September 2nd. The year is 2018. I posted two videos the past few days. One was the eulogy of Rev Jasper Williams, who spoke at Aretha Franklin's funeral. Rev Jasper Williams Jr., who's from Atlanta, he's the pastor at Salem Baptist Church. For the record, you all know I'm not a very religious person at all. However, I enjoyed what he had to say during that eulogy. Some people say it was not the right place. And I've learned something about our people, our culture, black folks. It's never the right place. It's not. This is not the time. It's never the right place. So, in essence, it was the perfect place. And I love every word he had to say. I don't necessarily agree with coming back to God and Christ and all that type of stuff. However, he had some very important things to say about our community that touched on some very serious issues taking place in our communities. And I think a lot of black folks just sometimes struggle with truth. We just do. The truth can be complicated and hard for us to accept, because it frightens us. It means that we have to change something. And they don't, and change, anyone trying to change, it's like an alcoholic finding out they're alcoholic, but if you love liquor, they're like, man, I got to give up what I love. I got to give up this liquor. In order for me to change, I got to give up this cocaine. I'm a drug addict, but I love coke. Black folks got to give up the bullshit that they love. The mess that's harming our communities. You got to give it up. Everything he said about single mothers not being able to raise children, young men, boys into men, is accurate. And some of y'all may not understand that why. But I can honestly say, after my 48 years walking God's green earth, I can personally see every word that this man was saying about women not being able to. Yeah, can some women have success in bringing their children from birth to education? Sure. Get them out of school, get them into college, everything's fine. But I've learned something. These guys who grow up with women only in their households have serious issues. They can't control their anger. They don't know how to survive or hustle on their own. They got to rely on something. In essence, there are issues there because women are not capable of, like you said, making a young boy into a man. That's what you need men involved for. Like my father was involved in my life as I was growing up. I'm grateful and thankful. And I look back to, glad he was there. Because if it just been Berta Hampton, my mom would have been screwed. The thoughts and the stuff that my mother thinks, thank God that my father put me aside and said, that's her thoughts. You don't have to think like that. I said, thank goodness. I can imagine just growing up in a household with Berta Hampton. I love her. She's my mom, but her thought process, she's a woman. She's a woman, and she thinks like a woman. Well, I'm a man, and I think like a man, and we clash. We've always clashed. He was accurate when he said that. When I look around at our race of people, look at it. Black boys used to be some of the top baseball players, basketball players, sports. Women can't really teach their children this. You get a man to teach a child sport. Some women will attempt or try. Some women probably can do it. You know what's interesting to me? I look at two of our greatest sports players, Tiger Woods and Serena and her sister. What's Serena? What's the other girl's name? But every time I see videos of them as little kids, their father was right there, whipping them into shape with those sports, helping them out, pushing them to go to different levels. I don't think those women would have I don't think Tiger Woods or any of these other great sports players could have achieved the success on their own without having a father there. Now, I'm just using those two for example, and I'm sure there are many other sports players. I know y'all about to go look out and find every single black child who grew up and had success playing sports. And y'all gonna point those examples out, because that's what y'all do. We take dysfunction and we embrace it, love it, instead of encouraging. Here's another thing that I've never understood about single parents. Raising children alone is complicated. I'm 48. I'll be 49 next year in about 8 months from now. And I can't imagine what it would be like to raise a child. I have one child on my own. In between living my life, working, raising this child, I don't want to take on that. I'd have to have. This is not. It wouldn't make sense. But how could these young folks doing it every day, struggling, taking on something that most people couldn't fathom, and they do it as if it's nothing. I've seen nothing but chaos and confusion in my family members who've had children at an early age. They can never get it right. They never had the income. They never had. It was just so much confusion. I kept saying, why are they having all these kids? Alone, single. What's the point? Black women have got to learn that if a man has not put a ring on your finger and walked you up that aisle and married your ass, you don't need to have his children. Period. And then he don't have to be black. He can be white. He can be Asian. He can be Jewish. He can be Chinese. He can be whatever. As long as that man put a ring on your finger and say he's going to marry you and take care of your children, that is the only circumstances where you should have children. All this single parent mother nonsense that has swept across America for the past 20, 30, 40 years is not, it hasn't worked out in our favor. And that's what he was saying. But black folks are very confident. When truth like this hits the table, they can't take it. You serving truth today. We don't like that. We ain't going to eat this. No matter how you serve truth to black people, no matter how you season it up and serve it, they don't like it. They ain't going to eat it. They don't like it. Black on black crime exists. Why should we ignore this? And until we admit we have a problem with harming each other, killing each other, destroying each other in our communities, it's not going to change. We have to sit down and say, this is a problem we must fix. In regards to Black Lives Matter and the police murders and crimes, that is a problem. So I don't see a problem with us working on trying to correct that with the police officer, and also working within our own community to correct the problem with the crimes that we present to each other on a daily basis. He brought up valid points about crime and murder that we do to each other. Neither one should be ignored. Both should be tackled at the same time. What's so wrong with that? Can somebody tell me what's so wrong with tackling these issues together? I don't know. Maybe I don't care how y'all serve up truth. Black folks do not like it. Our communities are devastated. We don't have the stores and retails. Every black community I go to, it's always owned by, the stores are owned by some foreigner. I could point out a few black-owned places. I was disappointed to swing down to the West End to go to Mr. Everything to get my salad, and the place was closed because they're going through some problems with the city with permitting and all this stuff because they're about to redo the historic building. The exterior, the city's giving them a hard time with this scaffold in front of the building, so the place is closed. I said, damn, they've been closed going on for weeks now. Doesn't the city realize that if you close a business that long, they may struggle to reopen? Sometimes you wonder, is this stuff systematic? You got a great restaurant. The only place was a ghost town down there because they were the only people who. The only reason I had to go down that MLK Drive in the West End was to go to that damn restaurant. It's closed. And with nobody else there, it was a ghost town. I said, ooh, what? They closed. And I had to go online to read up to see, well, what happened? And I saw all this stuff with the city and all just going on and on and on. We gotta learn how to love each other. You better believe that was a white-owned business. The city would have jumped through all kinds of hoops to get sure that place got back open in time. They would not have allowed this place to suffer like that. But that's how we view each other. See, because the people who almost everything are going downtown to deal with City of Atlanta permits departments, and black folks who look like us back there like, yeah, give them another nigger child. We going on coffee break. Now, I could be wrong. And there could be some very serious issues going in the background they need to quickly resolve this weeks. This isn't good for his business. I'm a loyal customer. I hope everybody else would too. But I just wonder, will this man be able to get that location back up and running after all this chaos? Makes you wonder. We need black-owned businesses. When I was a little kid, my father made me and my brother get up. We'd be mad. My mother would not have done this. My father got us out of bed to shovel snow. My mother would sometimes be looking at us like, y'all daddy want y'all up. She didn't agree with what he was doing, but he got our asses up to shovel snow, rake leaves, wash cars, deliver newspapers. He didn't want us to be no lazy bum sitting up in his house. Saturday morning and afternoon watching cartoons? Never. You walk to that door, y'all's in the meeting there watching cartoons. Get up, get out. Go do something. He was trying to instill in us the desire to work and earn an income. Something he'd done all his life. My father had a massive garden in Gary, Indiana. Massive garden. We had to go out there and pick fruits and vegetables and all that stuff out there in the heat, hot. My father would take us fishing. We'd fish. I mean, there were so many things that I did with my father. I'm grateful that I did as a father and son. That a lot of these women cannot do with their children, with their boys. It's complicated for a woman to raise a boy into a man. And by that I mean it'd be very complicated for a man to raise a little girl into a woman. You have to understand the structure of a family is sometimes important. And sometimes you need those different elements of male and female to raise a child in a proper environment. But y'all don't want to hear that. Because it's a truth that's not good. It's something you all don't want to hear. Everything that Pastor Williams, Rev Jasper Williams spoke about, and I do think it was the right place. And I do think it was the right time. And I do think it was the right venue. And I don't care about the other people who were there in that room. Because he spoke to me. I watched it and I loved it and I listened and I said, wow, I agree with him. But I'm not a religious person. So I can take the religious part and toss it to the side. And I can see the other stuff that he said is accurate and correct about our communities. And we have to be focused on these issues if we ever want to change our communities. Now, I read this morning that the Aretha Franklin family blasted black-on-black crime eulogy. They didn't like it. Aretha Franklin's 8-hour funeral drew to a close last week, the Rev Jasper Williams Jr. rose from his seat and picked up the microphone. He'd been sitting there for 8 hours, almost 7.5 hours, 8 hours. He was exhausted, he said. Clad in a sharp black suit, accented by a bright red tie and pocket square, the Atlanta-based pastor began his eulogy with an impassioned rendition of the popular hymn, Father, I Stretch My Hands to Thee. This is my subject as I attempt to eulogize Aretha Franklin. My subject is Aretha, the Queen of Soul. But in the roughly 40 minutes that follow inside Greater Grace Temple in Detroit, Williams will devote more time to voicing criticism about black parenting and black-on-black crime than Franklin's life and legacy. His words prompted swift backlash on social media, with many slamming him for being misogynistic, I can't pronounce that word, I'm a child, and disrespecting other black people. I guess because he was misogynistic. I can't pronounce that word. I'm trying to look it up in the dictionary. I've never seen that way they spelled it. Among the others who didn't appreciate Will's eulogy were Franklin's family member who called his comments offensive and distasteful. Well, it really doesn't matter what Aretha Franklin's family decided because Aretha Franklin chose this man for her eulogy. And let me explain something about life after death. One day I'm going to die. And these hamsters are going to be sitting around trying to figure out what to do with Walter. And I'm going to have a list of things I want done. Now, I'm sure, prayerfully, they will follow that list of things I want done, but they're not going to be happy with it. And after I watch this, I think it's important that people do. If it's something were happening tomorrow, I'm not really a funeral type person, but I would want some speakers that I like to speak up there and speak, at least speak something close to my heart. And I think he's speaking something that was closer to Aretha Franklin's heart. He spoke something that, because they knew each other, they were friends. She chose him for a reason. And at my funeral, I would want all type of Walter in the ground, but we got to move on. But let me tell y'all what we need to do to move on. I don't have a problem with that. Especially when I'm looking around at my family members, I see all this crazy shit going on in my family members today. It's just insane. My mother's still praying, Jesus. Pray, pray, pray to Jesus. Mama's always praying. Mama's always gonna pray. But we ain't got nothing accomplished. Not in my family. But if you bring this truth to them, they don't like it. God gonna find a way. Okay. Well, this house need a roof, electrical, plumbing, heating, and air. And the only person I see that's gonna find a way for y'all niggas to get this shit is me. And I don't even live here. There's something wrong with us in our communities. But I like what this man had to say. Was he anti-feminine? No. He just spoke the truth about something that I think we all need to know about our communities, in particular black women raising children wrong. You look around our communities, if you all don't think the problems that we have in our community are not a direct result of fathers missing from the household and women deciding to raise children on their own. Not say that women decided to raise children on their own, because a lot of these women are having children by men they're not even married to. He's not your husband. He's not committed to you. He didn't say, I'm going to take care of this rent, this mortgage, the food in this refrigerator, and I'm going to take care of my children. He ain't said that. He just dropped some semen into your vagina and went on about his business, and you just, I'm having a baby. But he hasn't committed to nothing. So you have to stop and think before you allow this man to impregnate you and vanish. Poof, gone. I know too many people who do not know who they desire. Dang. We can't get people, we'll never get people to understand that. They're never going to agree. In our community, like I said, the truth is so hard and complicated. Some people, you are not going to like this video. I've been criticized because of my views. Oh, he's so conservative. I'm not conservative. I walk these streets. I've met enough men to know what took place in their lives. I've met so many guys, they said they don't have no clue who their daddy was. And that's why they out here ripping around these streets in chaos and confusion. I've met young men come to me and say, help me fill out a job application. I'm in a fast food place, minding my business, eating. And a young black man, can you help me fill out a job application? I'm okay. And we fill out the application. I'm like, well, did you graduate from school? Because I'm thinking you can't fill out this job application. You must have been dropped out of school. No, I graduated in such and such after you. Oh, you did? What high school did you graduate? I graduated from so-and-so. But you can't fill out a job application. I don't understand this. See, we want to ignore this because we've got success. You know, me and Earl lived in a $1 million house up there in Buckhead, but I always told Earl, this is an illusion, buddy. Look at your family and look at my family. We are an anomaly. This is not normal for black folks. And we'd argue about this and say, Earl, you got to wake up and realize where we live and how we live our lives is completely different than most blacks. And you should appreciate what we have. He can appreciate it. He couldn't see. He sees it now. Now that lifestyle is long gone. We had the nice houses, nice cars, and the nice business and all that stuff. He should have jumped in there and said, yes, we got to fight for this. But he couldn't. He couldn't see the forest for the trees. He didn't appreciate it. We were young then, and we could work all day and night. I got to get my ass in bed by 9, 10 o'clock at night. Fuck this shit. I'm going to bed. Turn off TV off. Turn the air conditioner up. And I'm going to sleep. As you age, can't do what you were doing in your 20s. Hard to get back out there and do what you were doing back then. It's almost impossible. You kill yourself. But we were living a good life. Still can live a good life like that if we wanted to. It's not our work involved. I don't own a house, they crack what they need with it. When I look at these people, me and Earl could not. It would have been very difficult for me to achieve that on my own. We did it as a team. It was complicated. It wasn't easy. "21 years together, we still poop, 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 fighting it out. Don't know what might happen tomorrow. Girl's background is different than my background. See, I know unity is the only way you're going to make a relationship work. You raising children, you need a partner in there. You need a husband. I don't care if he's Asian, Chinese, Indian. I don't care. You need somebody in that house to raise your children. But black folks, my mama did it. They fall right down the path of their mama. She did it. I could do it. In a different world. Changing environment. Changing economies. Everything's changed. From this ain't 1962, 72 or 82 for that matter. Things have changed. Look around you. Things have changed. But you're still going to go down that path because your mother did it in 1972. You're going to do it in 2018? I wouldn't. My father couldn't read nor write. I can read. I might struggle with a few of them big words, but I can read this U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Motor Carrier Safety Administration, a letter from my trucking company. I can read. Wells Fargo Bank. My father couldn't do that. But I can walk down the same path as him. I learned how to read at a very early age. I was determined to do better, to have more than what my parents had. I can only speak for me. I want the same thing my parents had. This was getting along too. I love what Rev Jasper Williams had to say. I think in Niggerville we need more pastors to speak like that and speak truth. So we can correct some of these issues over here in Niggerville. If it can be corrected. Some of the stuff may not be able to be corrected. I just don't know. I think some stuff we've fallen so far off the rail with certain issues that the crime against each other in our community that people just doesn't see it. There's no black on black crime. I'm like, you're a damn lie. They don't see it because they don't want to see it. Living with black folks is like I said, living with an alcoholic. The truth they don't like. They'll run from it. White folks did this to us. Yeah, white folks did do this to us. But some of this we're doing to ourselves. But we won't change it. Because it means looking in the mirror and making changes. It ain't going to happen. It means literally sitting down and evaluating our actions. Ain't going to happen. Sitting down, take a close look at the things that we are doing to ourselves. They ain't going to do it. Anyway, today I'm about to get out of here. It's Tuesday, September 4th, the year 2018. I love what that pastor, Jasper Williams, had to say. I don't think he said anything harmful. I just want people need to open up their minds and look around. For those of you who grew up in households where your mom was there by herself and she did have success with you, that's great. But don't forget, there are thousands of children who grew up in similar households who did not have the same success that your mother had with you. Thousands. I meet them on a regular basis. And a lot of these children are angry because they grew up in a home in poverty with no food, no clothes, no heat, no water. They grew up in households that were just horrible. Be grateful that you grew up in a home where you all didn't have those types of struggles. Your mom was able to provide and get you to college and get you to this. Be grateful because there are thousands of children who did not grow up in that type of environment. Thousands of them. Maybe millions. These women have struggled with these children for years. When does this end? They have to learn to have children when they can financially afford them and when they have a husband. Like I said, don't have to be a black person. Be any man. But anyway, that's just my thoughts and opinions. I look forward to reading y'all's comments. Again, today it is Tuesday, September the 4th, the year 2018. Y'all out here, enjoy your day. I look forward to reading y'all's comments. I'm out. Don't forget to click like and share my videos with family members and friends. I'm out.